Just a fair warning, this is going to be an extremely long video, so get a snack, settle in, because honey, we gonna be here for a minute. What is up, YouTube? So let me just start off with the obvious. Yes, Stefan and I broke up. I figured it would be better to talk out the entire experience, air out all the details. Some of you may disagree with that. You know, some of you may think, and even Stefan, who I know thinks that I should just keep quiet about it, but you know, you guys know that's not my style. I've always shared every aspect of my life on the internet, and this is no different. Like I told him, first I'm going to talk about the initial breakup, then I'm going to go into the more interesting details. As you guys know, this was a very short-lived relationship, but it still meant a lot to me, and it still does in a different way now, because I have a lot of respect for the relationship, not because of, you know, how I was treated or anything like that, but more so what I learned through this relationship. Number one, I learned I need to focus on myself for a while, and I need to find my happiness within me, because I just wasn't quite there yet, and I thought I was. Because for someone to break me down that much, because I was in such a rough spot. It's been 3 weeks since we broke up. I was completely shattered, which is not healthy, and obviously a sign that I need to work on myself even more than I thought. Number two, when I do start dating again, I need to stick to older guys, because, and this is not a knock on Stefan, this is just me realizing that I am not on the same wavelength as people my age typically. Haley, Brie, and I, we are very, I say this just because we are all the same age, but we are very, I'll just say it, we're pretty intellectually advanced for people our age. We're at a higher maturity level for sure, and so that tends to cause a difficulty in relationships, and that's partly my fault. I have always kind of downplayed my intelligence, and I've used YouTube to kind of branch out more and try to express my more intellectual side, but I still hide it a little bit. I try to act like, you know, the ditzy, like, dumb blonde, hee because growing up, that's what I thought I needed to be for people to like me, but you know, that's just not the truth. And because of that, I attract the wrong people. Now, I'm not saying that anyone I've dated is dumb. I'm just saying they're not compatible with me, my true self. We initially broke up on the 15th of October, and everything was fine that day, or at least I thought it was. It was actually our 1 month. In the morning, Stefan texted me and he's like, hey, I'm coming over, but we need to talk. And I was like, okay. And I kind of freaked out because, like, that's me. I get very paranoid easily, and I usually know when something is going on. There's something that I haven't told Stefan that I'm gonna reveal later on, because it does make a connection. Me personally, you guys know I'm not a confrontational person, so of course I was like, hey babe, like let's talk about this. Like I kind of just want to get it out of the way kind of thing. And so he sat me down on the bed, literally right over there. Basically told me that he didn't have feelings for me, and that he didn't love me, and that he could no longer be my boyfriend. But there was an inconsistency in there, because he literally said, and I remember this, he can't deny this, I'm trying to remember the exact wording, so if I get that wrong, I'm sorry, but the concept of it was nothing to do with me, and that in fact I was everything that he could ever want in a girlfriend, but he just couldn't be with me personally. I was holding his hand, I was sitting right on my bed, let go of his hand. I was like, can you give me a second? Went outside, just started bawling my eyes out. I collected myself, came back inside, and I sat down in this chair. For a while, I couldn't even look at this chair because it was too much. And he stayed on the bed, and we just kind of sat in silence for a good 30 minutes. And then he was like, hey, can I get you like some tissues? And so he got me tissues. And then we switched places, so he was sitting in this chair and I was sitting on my bed, and I couldn't control my emotions, and I was crying, and in the midst of crying, I didn't say much because, like I said, I'm not a confrontational person. I am a very analytical person, so I have to look back at things and think in order to gather my thoughts. We were spending time together for a total of about 2 months, which I know doesn't seem like a very long time, but when you're spending almost every day together and you have, you know, gone away for a weekend, you know, you've been in the car with someone for 4 hours, 5 hours, however long it took to get to Tallahassee and back, and you're texting that person constantly and on the phone with that person constantly, that's a lot of time. So I could understand if he needed a break. And so I was like, hey, do you just want a break? And he was like, no, because it's nothing to do with you. After sitting in silence, because it was just really awkward, he was like, hey, do you want me to go? Do you want me to stay? And I was like, honestly, I don't know, because I knew that would be the last time that I saw him. And I truly did love him, still love him. There's always going to be a place in my heart for him, which kind of sucks, but it's the truth. He did tell me about this dream that he had about a month ago. So right before we started dating, it was a room full of cages and there was a blonde girl. And he was like, hey, do you remember that dream? And I was like, yeah, I think so. He's like, yeah, that blonde girl was you. So imagine someone that you love who has constantly been saying that they love you back, tells you that, and tells you they don't actually love you. It was a very Frozen Hans Anna moment for me. I was like, oh, you can go if you want, because, you know, I wouldn't want you to feel caged or trapped. I think that's what I said. It was something along those lines. It was very like in the heat of the moment, out of anger. I don't regret saying it though. Knowing what I know now, I don't regret saying it. He was like, no, like if you need me, I'll stay. We were sitting in silence, so he was like, hey, I think I should go. He's like, hey, will you walk me out? I walked him out to the car. We hugged. He said, I'll miss you. I said, bye. Those were my last words to him in person. I got about halfway up to my door. I literally just dropped to the floor sobbing and just stayed there until he drove away. I don't know if he saw. If he did see, that's pretty shitty that he like didn't get out of the car to like make sure I was okay, but I don't want to speculate, so like I said, I don't know. I can be open and honest about this now because he does know how I found out this information. I was FaceTiming Robbie. I was really upset and I was like, you know, there's nothing that I can be angry about, which makes this even worse. I just kept going on and on about that. And Robbie finally told me, I don't know exactly what he said, but he basically told me that there was this girl that he had went and saw 2 days before we broke up, when he was supposed to be napping. And the funny thing is, really funny, this is how I know I have good intuition. Like I said, Stefan doesn't know that I had this dream, but I had a dream about a girl with curly hair. And guess what that girl has? Curly hair. And I had a dream that Stefan cheated on me. You know, I'm not saying that he did, because like I said, I don't know the details of that. Stefan claims that he didn't, but I've seen some of the texts that he was saying describing her while we were dating, so I can only assume. The really funny thing is, I knew about this girl prior because this was a girl that Stefan was originally talking to before he ever met me. She came up once before we started officially dating because he told me that this girl had called him randomly out of the blue. And this should have been a red flag for me, but I was just so blinded, so stupid. And he was like, yeah, there's this girl that I used to talk to and she like randomly called me and told me goodnight, and I like freaked the fuck out. I was like, I'm sorry, some random bitch is calling you, telling you goodnight, like that means she wants to fuck you. Like that's not, like that was my reaction. And he was like, yeah, it was so weird, like haha, funny, right? And I was like, no, not really, but haha, sure. And we dropped it. We never spoke about it again. That little detail right there to me makes me feel like the entire relationship was a waste and that he most likely had contact with her the entire time. Like I said, I don't know that, so I'm gonna use that lovely word allegedly just because legalities. So allegedly he could have been talking to her the entire relationship, which really fucking sucks. For someone to deceive you that much, it's disgusting, especially considering everything that I went through with Stefan in such a short amount of time. Like I had panic attacks around him. I brought him to the school campus where I had my first sexual assault encounter, let him meet my entire family. I went away with him for a weekend. I met his mom. For someone to let you in and make you think that you know them really well, and for them to just turn out to be completely the opposite of what you were shown is just mind-boggling. Okay, I took a break. Now I'm back. So now we're gonna talk about the confrontational part, and I'm gonna read you guys all of the texts. Oh, let me just, before we get into this, let me just read you our text messages prior to the breakup, like in the morning. On the day of our month anniversary, I was like, good morning, happy 1 month, babe. I feel like I've been acting a little weird lately, but I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. I know I say this often, but thank you for being here, even when I'm difficult and stubborn. The impact you have on me is like nothing I've ever seen before. I feel like a better person being with you. I love you. He said, happy 1 month to you too, babe. I love you too, sweetheart. I'm gonna shower and I'm gonna come over, but we've got to talk. Why on earth would you say I love you too when you knew less than an hour later you would be telling me that you never loved me? I texted him once before I found out about the other girl, and I said, I couldn't find the words earlier, but whatever you need to do to make you happy, I'll stand by. Even if it hurts, I'll always love you and I'm here for you whenever you need me. He said, thank you so much, that means a lot. And the whole day nothing was adding up. I was like, there's gotta be something else. But I let it go until I found out. And then I was like, that's not fair. I need closure. Like, you owe that to me. I was like, hey, can we talk tomorrow? He said, of course, I can after 4. And I said, okay, that's fine, whatever works for you. He said, okay, I'll let you know when I'm on the way. I said, all right. Actually, we should meet somewhere instead if that's okay. All right, I'm gonna skip this part because like, it's irrelevant. All day, like after I found out, I was just sick to my stomach and I just couldn't hold anything in. I texted him and I was like, I was gonna wait until tomorrow, but I feel physically ill keeping this in. I just get this strong feeling like there's more to the story. I really want to know so I can have peace of mind. I knew already. I knew everything already. I was just baiting him. I had screenshots already. Like, I came prepared, but I was baiting him to see if he was a decent enough person to fess up and tell me the truth. Spoiler alert, he wasn't. And he said, Taylor, there isn't. I just tried so hard to love you. I tried so hard to be happy with you. I was trying to convince myself that you're going to be my wife, but it just never clicked for me. When I asked you to be my girlfriend, I told myself I'll give it a month. If I don't feel anything for this girl, leave her. Trust me, I feel like shit for it, but I truly know I made the right decision. Which is interesting because while he was breaking up with me, he was like, honestly, I don't know if this is the right decision. And he was second guessing himself. So, interesting. He said, we can talk more tomorrow, okay? I said, none of this makes sense unless there's another girl, Stefan. Once again, baiting him. He said, how does this not make sense? Listen, I've been in love before. It didn't feel like it was going anywhere for me, even in the beginning. I said, it was so out of the blue, there has to be someone else in the picture. He said, I wouldn't break up with you for another girl, I promise you that. It wasn't out of the blue. I even told you multiple times how I felt. We had this conversation once on the car ride back from Tallahassee. I already knew that I was in love. It's very hard for me to fall, but when I do fall for someone, I fall very, very fast. So I already knew, and he had kind of caught on to that, and he was like, I don't know if I feel that way about you yet. And I was like, okay, that's totally cool, whatever, it's fine. And then the next day when he came to my house, he told me I love you for the first time. So interesting. I said, all week you were fine up until about 2 days ago. And that was me giving him the opportunity to tell me right then and there. He said, Taylor, I've told you multiple times. I even thought I made it super clear how I felt on the way back from Tallahassee, which I just told you guys about. And I said, yeah, but then you told me you loved me the next day. If you're hiding something, now's the time to be honest. He said, I thought I told you today exactly what I meant by that. Losing feelings doesn't seem legit. Taylor, I told you everything from heart. I'm always 100% honest with you. Why would I lie to you now? And I said, I know there's another girl. I've been cheated on before and I know what it looks like. I'm not directly saying that you cheated, but you had to have been involved with another girl in some way. He said, even if another girl was involved, since that's stuck in your head, which I didn't really appreciate because I knew he was lying, yet he tried to play the whole jealousy card because yes, I'm a very jealous person. He tried to be like, oh, like you're the crazy one for thinking that this is somehow a possibility when all along it was. He said, it wouldn't matter because that girl wouldn't be the reason why I broke up with you. I truly wasn't happy, which makes no fucking sense at all. But anyways, if you're thinking about another girl in the first place, you're not going to give the relationship a chance. Relationships involve two people. They're not always supposed to work perfectly, but you're supposed to stick with each other and work through your issues. If you didn't have feelings for me like that, why would you bring me to meet all of your friends? Which was when we went to Tallahassee. He said, I told you I didn't want you to come in the first place, but you did. Correction, he told me he didn't want me to come because he was staying with another friend. So what did I do? Like the good girlfriend I am, because he initially asked me to come and then changed his mind. Again, makes me feel like he was lying to me about this girl being involved the entire time. But anyways, so like the good girlfriend I booked a hotel, which he encouraged, by the way. I'm gonna skip through some of this because it's irrelevant, but I said, honestly, I just don't think you know what you want. Thinking about it now, I feel like after we got back from Tallahassee, you were just using me for sex, which hurts to say, but those are my feelings. He said, I've never done that in my life, which I happen to know is false. Why can't you accept that I wasn't meant for you? I said, because I feel like you're lying to me, but whatever. He said, honest to God, I'm not lying to you. I didn't want to hurt you, and I really do appreciate the advice. I've learned so much from you, and I greatly appreciate it. I still want you in my life. Hold on to that phrase. I still want you in my life. Which he also said, actually, when he broke up with me, he said, I need you in my life. Hold on to that. And I want you to keep making progress, please. You're doing so well. I did everything for you because you deserved it. I liked you. I just didn't love you. Fucking ouch. The next morning, like I said, he was totally down to meet up. And I was like, are you sure? And I asked multiple times, are you sure? We don't have to if you don't want to. And he's like, yes, absolutely, I want to. So then, conveniently at 3:57, which I happen to know that he was with the girl at this time, he texts me and says, I really don't know if we should meet. I said, I have something I really need to say to you. He said, Taylor, why? What is it? Why? Like what? This is a completely different person that I'm texting. Like it just doesn't even sound like him. I said, this needs to be either said over the phone or in person. He said, what if it doesn't need to be said at all? I said, oh, trust me, it does. He said, everyone is telling me I should block you on everything and not go see you, which is ironic because throughout this entire thing, I had been communicating with his friends, and they were completely encouraging me to express my feelings. That's why I said, who's everyone? Because that's definitely not what I've been hearing. He said, my friends. I said, LOL. I wrote out something to tell him about my feelings towards the whole situation, and I wanted him to know that I knew that he was lying to me. So he called. I said, I'll be honest, yesterday and even this morning, I was extremely emotionally distraught, as I'm sure you saw. I was really confused as to where I could have gone so wrong to push you that far away. That was before I learned what I know now. Throughout our entire relationship, you told me I could do so much better, and I always thought you were wrong up until now. So the last thing I have to say to you, Stefan, is tell blank I said hi. I'm not gonna say her name because I'm not that much of a bitch. I'm not gonna expose her like that. But his response to that, he first murmured in the background, oh, Taylor says hi, and then he then told me, oh, blank said hi. Didn't even apologize or anything. Friday, October 20th, Stefan texted me because I was on FaceTime with Robbie the previous night and I literally had a panic attack. He texted me the following day because Robbie told him about it and said, hey, are you okay? I said, do you want the truth? I was in a really, really bad mental state at this point, so just keep that in mind. And he said, well, he told me you're shaking and you need me. I'm here. What's up? I said, I'm a mess. You've completely broken me in all honesty. I can't even cry anymore because I'm just so numb. I hate myself because I tried to do everything I could and I'm still not enough. He said, heartbreaks are rough and I apologize for that, but I couldn't be in the relationship anymore. It wasn't healthy for me. I know I've hurt you and no, I didn't cheat on you or leave you for another girl. I didn't know what to do. I don't want to go back into a relationship with you either. I just can't. I don't know what you want me to do. I told you I wanted to be in your life still, but you blocked me for no reason. He told me the day that we spoke on the phone that he wanted me to leave him alone. So after our conversation, I blocked him. He said, and I told you a million times, it's not you. I just lost my feelings. What can I help with? I want to help you. You know I do. I said, you're talking to blank. The girl. What else am I supposed to think happened? You don't just lose feelings like that. It just doesn't happen, not unless you never had them to begin with. When we talked on the phone, your last words to me when I read you what I wrote were, okay, she says hi. Do you know how much that hurt? I wanted to give you the world and still would. That day I was getting ready to go to dinner with your mom, you blatantly lied to me. You knew at that point you didn't have feelings for me, so why would you tell me you could just tell I was going to end up being your wife? You've hurt me more than anyone ever has, and I'd still drop everything for you. Also, before we had our phone call, you told me to just leave you alone. That's why I blocked you. I just don't understand why you kept it going for so long. How could you continue to be intimate with someone you didn't have feelings for? I just don't know what to do anymore. And he said, I told you guys this was gonna be a really long video. He said, because I tried to convince myself. I've learned my lesson, and you came out of nowhere with tell blank. I said hi. What am I supposed to do? When you said that, I was like, fuck, fine. You don't deserve this, but it needed to happen. I tried so hard to convince myself that I loved you. It was exhausting. I'm sorry. I am. Blank is someone that really actually makes my stomach flutter, and the world stops when I look into her eyes, which is ironic because he said the exact same thing to me and about me to his friend, which I've also seen proof of. He said, what am I supposed to do, Taylor? I met blank before you, but her dad banned me because he thought I was a fuckboy. But she hit me up, which, like I said, allegedly, because I don't know the truth on that. I have sources that can find that out for me, but I'm just gonna leave it alone at this point. After this video, I'm done talking about him. He said, it's my fault. I won't do it again to anyone else. I know what I'm saying about blank hurts, but I needed you to know what makes me happy now. Sorry, I cannot read. Now this one is quite self-deprecating. Like I said, was not in a good place. Also, I'm sorry I'm too skinny, and I'm sorry that I wasn't a virgin since I know that bothered you. I was even willing to work my ass off at the gym to become what you wanted. I haven't worked out since the day you broke up with me. I've had 2 panic attacks, and my mom practically had to drag me to the hair salon to try to make me feel better. This is one of the hardest things I've gone through, and I just feel like you don't actually care, and it's more like you want to just erase me from your memory altogether. He said, I told you I still wanted to be in your life, which he literally told me to leave him alone. And I told you I didn't care. I only wanted those things because you wanted them. I don't care about your weight. I don't care about the guys you've been with. I'm not some asshole. You wanted to be fit again. Which, I mean, is kind of true, but he definitely wanted me to work on that and express that to me multiple times, which in all honesty made me even more insecure than I already was. And I didn't realize that until actually a few days ago, honestly. I said, everything you ever told me was a lie. How am I supposed to ever trust anyone again? He said, I pushed you to be greater. I told you because I thought I did. Technically, I didn't lie. It's easy to tell when someone is being genuine, and you know I was. You continued to tell me things that you knew you didn't feel literally the day we broke up. He said, because I realized how I actually felt when I felt the real thing with blank. If you were wondering, blank hit me up Friday, and that Sunday was the 15th. I said, so you went to go see a girl you knew you liked instead of being honest with your girlfriend. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is where he blatantly lies without realizing that I already fucking know everything, because girls always find fucking everything out some way, somehow. He said, I didn't see her until we broke up. I stayed loyal. Which makes me feel like there's more to the story, because I'm sorry, when you're talking about how fat a girl's ass is and you conveniently just go see her when you happen to have a girlfriend who's willing to do so much more for you, but that's none of my business. There's no way in hell, I'm sorry, there's no way in hell, let me make sure I use allegedly, there's no way in hell that you allegedly don't hook up with her. Attention viewers, this is future editing Taylor speaking, and we have new incoming tea, so enjoy. That's my honest to God true feelings, and if you disagree, I'm fucking sorry. And Stefan, if you're watching this, I don't give a fuck what you have to say anymore, because that right there, along with so many other things, just proves that you're such a liar, and I have no reason to believe anything you ever say or ever did say. I'm gonna skip some of this because it's pretty repetitive. He said, blank told me to text you, which, talking about the girl, and I said, probably feels guilty. I don't even think you understand how wrong this is. He said, there's nothing I can do about it now, Taylor. I said, you had sex with me knowing my issues from the past and knowing you didn't have feelings for me. You don't think that's wrong? I said, I thought I did. You don't fucking listen. Which, I don't appreciate that fucking tone, just so you know. You're making me look like a fucking asshole on your Twitter and everything. And I said, and when you broke up with me, you could have told me about her. And he said, you would have been horrified. I was waiting, which is a fucking lie, because I have proof of him saying that he was never going to tell me in the first place. He said, I do everything for your benefit, but I broke up with you for mine. And I said, you were never even going to tell me. And he said, you know I was always there for you. You don't fucking know that. I'm tired of this. I said, no, I'm not so sure. Oh, and then he said, bye, Taylor. And he said, I thought you'd be mature about this and respect what I needed and wanted. I would have for you. Now bye. I would have if you would have been mature and honest with yourself and I about the fact that you left me for another girl. I was contacted again on Wednesday because he saw the video with Robbie, so that's how I know there's a 90% chance he's gonna watch this. He said, I never cheated on you or left you for someone else. I said, okay, whatever you say, because I was just over it at this point. He said, I would never cheat, never have. She helped me realize what a true connection is. You're using my best friend for views. You're making me look like a terrible person for your own benefit. I thought I made it clear what I truly felt. I even mentioned it many times during our relationship, and you know I'm telling the truth. I sent him a screenshot of a lovely girl, who I'm not gonna reveal her name because I'm a nice person, who happened to message me the day before we broke up. I didn't see her message until later though. And she was basically like, hey, do you have a minute to talk? I'm so sorry, I just saw this. Do you still need to talk? And she said, hey girlie, I was just texting you to warn you about Stefan and to make sure you were okay and let you know that if you needed anybody to talk, I'm here and will gladly listen. This was on October 22nd. I said, warn me, I'm confused. But thank you, I really appreciate that. I'm in a weird headspace right now, but I'm slowly getting better. And she said he was trying to get with my friend while dating you. I didn't like that or think it was fair, so I wanted to tell you. I completely understand breakups are the worst, but I'm glad you're feeling better about it. And I asked her if her friend was the same girl, because I wanted to confirm it. And she said yes, and I even asked her if I could use that screenshot for proof, which I will be including somewhere on the screen. I sent him that screenshot and I said, you were saying? He said, if you ever need to talk, you always know that I'm here. I told Robbie to back off because I thought you needed to not have any connection to me to make progress. I guess I was wrong, which was a lie. He didn't want me talking to Robbie because he didn't want me knowing things that I knew anyways. He sent me a screenshot of him talking to the same girl, and she told him, I think that some part of you still likes Taylor and therefore you shouldn't be messing with blank. If you do this to Taylor, you can do it to blank. He said, I don't. I tried to convince myself that I like her. I don't. I tried so hard. Trust me, I know I don't because I wanted to. I've never done this before and I've never not liked a girlfriend before. But I like blank, therefore I wouldn't do this to blank. Which makes absolutely no sense because the same things that he was saying about, I almost said her name. The same things that he was saying about the girl, he said about me. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Just using that phrase. Allegedly. So after he sent me that screenshot, I gave 0 fucks. So I said, maybe try not having sex or letting someone open up to you when you know you don't like them. Okay, thanks. He said, I know, I'm really sorry. I honestly thought that it would help my connection with you and it was working and I just kept trying to convince myself. I thought our relationship would go far. It's my fault, but you shouldn't spread our business like this. And I fucking lost it at this point. I was like, I have every right to express my feelings. I've used my channel to talk about every single aspect of my life for years. This is no different. He said, okay, I understand that, but you used my best friend. That really wasn't necessary and you know that. And I said, oh, and last time I checked, there never really wasn't us. Therefore, it's not our business, it's mine. I'm not using Robbie, he's just a good friend and person in general, which was shade towards Stefan, which he never caught on to. He tried to guilt me. He said, you really surprise me sometimes. I guess you're just going to keep fighting me on this. I thought you cared about me. At least I still care about you. I'm out. And I said, you really don't think I care? Are you serious right now? You gave up, which made our relationship seem like it wasn't worth anything. So in order to move on, I guess I've got to try and do the same. But don't you dare for a second think that I don't care. He said, I did give up, but you're the one saying our relationship is pointless. Therefore, you don't care about it or care about me either. I said, you showed that with your actions. Words aren't necessary to confirm it. He said, well, I fucking firmly believe that you're the only one saying our relationship is pointless. I said, just following along with the vibe you're giving me, which was complete sarcasm. He said, you're following wrong. Bye, Taylor. I said, bye. So I just want to talk about this for a second. Number one, I know there are going to be people that think this is wrong to expose an entire relationship. This is my channel. I can talk about whatever I want. Number two, he deeply hurt me and continued to lie to me and probably would still be continuing to lie to me if I didn't have alternative sources giving me this unknown information. With that being said, I feel like I have every right. I've always done YouTube videos to get closure. That's just, it's very therapeutic for me. So if you disagree with that, like I'm sorry, but like I said, this is my channel. I can do whatever I want on it. And just in case Stefan does see this, I want to tell you right now, don't even bother trying to text me about your issue with me exposing our relationship or whatever, because every single thing that I have left to say to you has already been said in this video. My final thoughts on you as a person: I respect the good times that we had. I respect how well you were able to deal with my mental health issues in the heat of the moment, because you were good with those. I do appreciate that. As far as my feelings towards you right now, I think you're disgusting. I think you are deceiving, and I think you need to mature and grow up a little bit more before you involve other people in your life. I feel like maybe you think that you are much more mature than you actually are, and I feel like your actions throughout these past few weeks have definitely shown your true colors. I really genuinely hope you do grow into a better person. Wish you the best. That's all I have to say to you personally. Like I said, I'm going to use this as a lesson to grow from. I'm definitely feeling a lot better now that I have talked about it on camera. That always seems to help me. Like I said previously, I'm going to take a break from guys. I have some growing to do as well. Not necessarily in the same way, but growing as in, you know, self-appreciation, self-love, that kind of thing. I am going to be doing another relationship kind of video soon. It's going to be how to get over a breakup, because you guys have been asking me to do that for a while now, and I think there's no better time than this to film that video, so look out for that. That's all I have to say for now. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below for further video suggestions. Follow me on all my social media, so we link down below as always. Subscribe for new videos. I put out new videos every single week. I will see you guys next video, and stay Gucci.